Hi, my name is John Haynes. I have the great honour of being the Managing Director for the International Coaching Academy. This session is about Martin O'Shea. He's one of the country's top entrepreneurs, and I'm going to ask him questions. I'm going to interview him, try to find out how we can all learn from this great man. Good afternoon, Martin. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thanks, John, and thank you for that introduction.
Well, Martin, you deserve it because you've done a lot of things in your life, and I'm finding now these youngsters are coming through, Martin. They need role models. They need people like yourself to steer them in the right direction. So, first of all, what are you doing right now? What's your job right now?
So, at the moment, we are running the management company, which has a lot of different facets in the world of entertainment. So that includes television, representing talent really across TV, sports, music, and film. So we are heavily involved in social media branding and developing talent. That's really what we do.
You develop talent?
Yes.
So youngsters coming through, how do you spot talent then?
It depends on the type of outlet that you're looking for talent for, really. So in our business, it's developed into two streams really. Television, which can be it can be actors, or it can be on stage, or it can be made for television,
right,
reality television, and we look for people who want to take part in those kinds of shows and could have a career thereafter. So we've done it successfully 2 or 3 times with really big names, and we found them early when they were unknown, and then developed with them to.
Oh, so you've had great experience of doing this then, Martin?
Yeah, through about 20 years.
20 years of doing it?
Yeah, I mean, we were working.
You still look like a young man. Look at me, I have lush blonde hair. So what talents have you found in the past? Tell us something about your past successes.
So I started in the music business when I was 21 years old, and
21 years old?
Yeah, 21.
Great.
With the Prince's Trust loan, and I began to do work with promoting bands and developing bands as best I could at the time. There was no real mentor type arrangement in Liverpool at the time, very few venues. So you had to get out there and do it and make your mistakes really, and I made my mistakes. So you would put a lot of effort into particular bands, and it might take a couple of years, and then it didn't work, and then
it didn't work.
No, I realised after doing.
So you were looking for talent, you were getting bands.
Yeah, so the first big band that I managed, within a week of managing, I mean I could spot talent, but actually being able to get it through to manage the whole process through to a successful hit project. That's the hard part. So spotting talent, I think everybody feels that they've got some ability in that world. I think spotting talent that's got the mental and physical capability of delivering on that is the real key.
Well, Martin, how do you spot talent? I wouldn't have a clue. How do you really spot someone?
Well, we were in a building where which Tom Bloxham, who owns Urban Splash, had just opened. It was his second sort of flagship type building after the Dry Bar in Manchester. So he'd opened the bar with all the offices around it.
Right.
And it was all creative, musical driven companies, so 3 Beats and The Farm and us and a couple of magazines, and Oceanic, who were a dance group at the time, and there was a band playing next door, rehearsing next door, and they looked like stars, and it was next door, so I kept sort of eavesdropping. And
go on.
And then I went in to see them, and they just blew me away. And within a week, we had the head of Island Records who wanted to sign them, and a major publisher.
Well done, young man.
We were flying to Miami to meet the whole of the Island Records organisation. The band weren't ready for that.
The band weren't ready?
No, they weren't rehearsed. They were called Bullyrag.
Bullyrag,
and they eventually signed to Mercury. They eventually put an album out, but it all they weren't really mentally prepared to deliver on their potential.
Have the mental strength.
No, so they've gone on individually to do different things,
right.
But that was a hard learning curve because I wasn't experienced enough to know that they weren't ready. They thought they were, so I thought they were. And often when you are led by your client and you're not able to guide the client, which I couldn't then, but I can now, it makes it a little bit more difficult.
And what was the top band you've ever had?
Well, we from audition stage up, we developed Atomic Kitten.
Oh, Atomic Kitten. Who remembers Atomic Kitten? They were one of my favourites, Martin.
Thank you so much.
How did you come across it?
I was working in a studio in Lark Lane that's now called the Motor Museum with a guy called Andy McCluskey, who was a orchestra manoeuvres in the dark.
Right, yes, that's right.
And he had a girl group, he had 4 girls. He asked, I was doing some tour management at the time, so I tour managed these 4 girls for a week in London. And I quickly realised that they weren't going to make it, and had enough experience to realise that they were really not suited to each other or to the business they were in.
You realised that?
And I knew that Andy was ploughing money into them, and I thought, as the tour manager, you're not really supposed to get involved in the politics of the band at all. That's the first rule. I mean, if we have tour managers now who interfere, we'd fire them, because that's not their job. That's not their job.
Right.
Their job is to safely get the best performance out of the artist on the stage, that's it,
or
in front of the camera. So when I got back and Andy asked me how it had gone, I said, yeah, well, it went well, the shows were good, and I was with the girls, and I seem to recall the way it went was, I said, but I don't think they actually like each other, and I don't think they want to be in a band together.
Is that correct? Yeah. You spotted they didn't like each other.
I just thought I'll put it out there and let them see what happens, and it just exploded. And they just went at each other, hammer and tongs. I've got 3 sisters, so I know what that's like.
Yeah, it was.
And then they decided they were going to split there and then. And the horror on Andy's face, having developed this band.
Right.
And I said to him, okay, well look, go to the pub, and if you decide that you want to split up, come back and tell us.
Right.
And
interesting.
So when they went to the pub, Andy was like in shock a little bit, I think, and he'd spent a lot of money on them. And I said, look, it's better that you have not. If they come back together, that's fine. They've worked it all out. If they come back, they're not together. That's fine as well, because the two. If they're not going to get on, you're going to keep going with it, and it's going to be a big waste of time, even more so than it is now. So they came back and said, no, we're splitting up. And that's what they did. And I said to Andy, look, let's just start afresh. Let's find some real characters. And don't worry about them. They were a headache you didn't need. You got good demos from them with good voices.
Good advice. Good advice.
And Andy agreed, so we agreed that I would manage the band, they would produce the band, and we would work together. They created an independent record label to put the music out, and I created a management company to manage them, and we started looking, and we found Kerry Katona straight away through Davey T, who's in Liverpool.
You found Kerry, did
she? She came into an audition, and Andy liked her a lot. I liked her. She was very bubbly.
Yes.
She had a very interesting voice. I mean, people think she couldn't sing. She could sing. She had a very interesting voice, which was quite unique in its way once she controlled it. And then we found Heidi Range, who was 15 at the time, who went on to be in the Sugar Babes after she left Atomic Kitten.
Wow.
And we auditioned to find Liz McCann. The audition was at the Lomax, the Little Lomax, and Liz stood out for that. So that went along for about 9 months to a year, and then Heidi left, and suddenly we were back to square one. And there was this moment where Andy, his American management, big, US management, had said, I think it might be because your management's too local that you're not getting a record deal. So we had this sit-down discussion where it was like, well, I said, well, look, it could be that, but it could be that the songs aren't good enough.
The songs
potentially aren't good enough. We haven't got hits.
Right.
So why don't we agree that I'll give it 3 months, I'll find a replacement for Heidi, and you write some new songs, and we go again. I mean, there were very few people in the record business at the time who would have done a band like that. They're expensive to do. The development, the hair and makeup, the clothes, the style, the buying, all the media buying and everything was extremely expensive. So Andy was fired up with Stuart, his partner. He went out and bought a big stack of CDs of all the most recent songs that were out there. Right. And the next day started work on new material, and came up instantly that day with the first single. And he'd written Whole Again as well, which was the biggest global hit we had.
He wrote it?
He had the chorus for it, and the verses were spoken, it needed work.
Wow.
So we found Natasha, and within the 3 months, I packaged it up, sent it out, and instantly Hugh Goldsmith, who was one of the leading lights in the record business.
Yes, definitely.
He did take that, and he did some major artists, Natalie Imbruglia and Blue, and lots and lots of bands. Last few years he's been doing Eurovision for the BBC, and he's a very close friend of mine now. And he just we did a showcase to him, which took a lot of intense effort getting Kerry to sing properly live, so fully live. Showcase to the label, and Hugh just stood up and said, "I love it, I'm in," and that was the start of it. And we spent about £1 million with them before
£1 million?
Before they dropped.
Wow, £1 million!
Before they dropped us after a year.
They dropped you?
Yeah.
You spent £1 million and then they dropped you?
Because we'd spent £1 million and it hadn't worked. We'd had 4 hits, but it wasn't strong enough. And so Hugh was. We were all, we were actually on HMS Invincible in the middle of the Mediterranean on a TV show.
Yes.
And Kerry had said she was going to leave. There was a lot going on, and so we said to Hugh, look, just give us that record back, that Holier record, and we'll put it out because we believe in it. And then Hugh was on the back foot a little bit, I think, because he decided, no, I'm not going to give them that record back. We're going to put it out. And he went back to Virgin Records and said, give us another small budget, we'll put this last single out and we'll repackage everything. We'll have one last go. And so we started to promote Hole again. And when you've got a great song, you can feel it with an audience. The girls were supporting a band called Steps then on their tour in arenas, and when they played Hole again, the whole audience would stop. You could tell.
Is that right? You
just get it.
You can sense this, yeah.
We changed the verses at this point because they were too sort of boring before, and so the song itself had been developed more. That had taken a long time and a lot of effort, and now the fruit of that was watching the reactions of people to that song. And then the radio people played it to Radio 2. They said, and we'd never really had Radio 2 coverage before, and it went A-list on Radio 2, and they just began to rotate it. And suddenly we knew that there was momentum, and we were getting real feedback now. And we put the record out at the end of January in 01.
Yes.
And it was up against January 01, and it was up against U2, Outkast. There were 3 or 4 major records coming that week that were supposed to beat it. The most selected record, I think, as well, and we started off at 3 in the midweek charts. So you got Wednesday would tell you what they thought would be the number 1 on the Sunday, and when it got to the Sunday, we were number 1.
Well, congratulations.
That was a great phone call. It was like because we predicted number 3.
Special.
And Hugh rang me and said, I'm so sorry, we didn't achieve what we expected. And I said, all right. He said, we smashed it, we're number 1.
Well done. Excellent.
Then it took on a life of its own. It went to number 1.
It did.
19 countries all over the world, yeah.
Oh, it was awesome.
And it sat there 6 weeks in Germany, which was unheard of for a British girl group, really.
And
number 1 for 6 weeks in Germany against...
Number 1 for 6 weeks? 4
weeks in the UK, and then in other territories it just sat at number 1 for even longer. So that was really exciting, because it was the biggest turnaround you could ever want.
You persisted, didn't you? You didn't give up.
That's the lesson, really. You can't give up. Not if something's good. Give up if something's not good.
Right.
If you take the blinkers off.
It's an awesome story, Martin. It really is.
Yeah, it was fun, because it meant that you feel like you've been exonerated in a way, because you were constantly promoting something that was this group of girls are great. They can really sing.
I know.
They're great on stage. They've got a great vibe about them. Kerry might have left, but we found Jenny Frost replaced her quickly. Nobody noticed, really. Even though Kerry was larger than life, she instantly went on and won the Jungle in its first series.
That's right, yes.
So it was like, so she's. I was right about her.
I'm loving this, Martin.
So that gives you confidence. You're then able to go in at the top level all over the world. So with all of the major media companies and record companies and TV stations and so on, and we learned a lot in that period, and we grew the business through that first breakthrough and developed from there into we began to like having number 1s, let's put it that way.
And how many awards have you won then?
Well, I think we've got about 24 different number 1s now.
24 different number 1s? Well done, I didn't know that. 24?
Yeah, in music,
You're
singles, albums, DVDs,
hero, I know.
Yeah,
you're a very modest man. You never, hardly ever spoke about this. This is brilliant, this.
It's just not, it's it's when we did Ricky Hatton's life story, for example. That was a
Ricky Hatton,
we just
boxer.
went, yeah, and came up with the concept in the room like we are now. Ricky's trainer, Billy, keeps iguanas in a big cage, in a big
Right.
vivarium, and he has this check, this trick where he'll unlock the door and let them walk around when people are in meetings. I think it's a test,
Seriously?
And I'm a big animal lover, so I'm
And
looking
he
at
lets
this
them
thing.
walk around.
But they've got their claws are bigger than that, And he's like, just watch he doesn't tear you back there, lad. And you're like, all right. And then so we're chatting to Billy. This iguana's walking along the back of my neck, thinking, and I'm looking at its claws, and Ricky comes in with his dad. He's like, all right, lads, what do you want? Didn't know it was from Adam. We'd managed to wangle a meeting.
Yeah.
Me and my partner Mike, who's a brilliant producer director, and we said, well, we want to do a documentary, and Ricky said, nah, you know what, I've done all that, TV, I don't really want to be doing that. His dad was like, you know what, lads, and I said, it was just one of those light bulbs. I thought, I'm not going to walk out here without a deal. He is smashing it. He just beat Costa Zoo. He's happening. He's all over the world. His next big fight is I'm not leaving here without a deal. So I said, Ricky, on the shelves of the bookshop is your autobiography. This is not a normal documentary. This is a visual autobiography.
You told him that.
Yeah. It's your life story in a DVD.
Right.
It's all of your memories with your family's memories. It's your photographs from school. It's everybody's anecdotes about what type of person you are, who you are. It's your life story. You are the one who approves it. We create it with everything you give us. You don't have to do hardly anything. We just need to follow you for a bit. Yeah. But the rest of it we'll get from the friends and family. We'll create something beautiful. And he just looked at it. I was like, all right, go with it.
Then he just said,
that was it.
Permission. And that was it.
And that is now the biggest selling boxing DVD of all time.
Is it?
Yeah.
Honestly?
In the UK it is, yeah.
This is
I don't know whether there's... I think the Ali one, when we were kids, is much bigger worldwide.
O'Shea, you are different. You found your music inside. They say most of the population go to the grave with the music inside. They don't find what they really want to do. You found it at the age of 21. What's the future hold for you? With all your experience, all your successes, or all your doubts, all your failures, what's the future now for you?
So we've started to, I think the thing about management is that you are the one who builds the team.
Right.
And by that applies to any industry. So if I'm gonna sell that microphone, and you've come to me and said, I've got a microphone, it's great, and it's different to all the rest, it's unique, and I look into it and I'm like, okay, so it does look different. And I find out, yes, it is different. There's something about it that we know we can work with. I've got to then put the companies and the people around that in order to be able to make it a success. Because without those team players and it being a priority for them.
I see, yeah.
And my mantra with all of the people who work with the music particularly is, if you're not a priority for the people that are working with you, it won't work. You have to be their priority.
You've got to be the priority.
And there's no point in being with Sony, and we've done this before 4 or 5 times with artists where they've had a big record deal because that's what they really wanted, and the guy there is really making them a priority, and then he leaves or is fired.
Oh, right.
And that happens a lot. And then you're in a great big company with nobody who cares about you because the guy's gone or the girl has left.
I see, yes.
And the people coming in, if they make it a success, it reflects well on the person who's been fired and not on them. And they've got their own agenda for stuff they want to do, so you're not part of that.
You've got to be sure.
That's why 9 out of 10 artists and musicians that are signed to these major labels never happen. In fact, it's more than 9 out of 10.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It never happens?
Probably 5% at most actually get into profit.
Right, mate. Well, sadly, we're running out of time. Before we go, do you say happiness is having a balanced life? So tell us something about your family.
Oh, I've got 2 amazing grown-up powerhouse kids. My son runs the office for us in Bold. He's brilliant, very calm. He's made me a granddad recently.
Oh, did he? Yeah. Granddad Martin.
I mean, I was already a granddad to his stepdaughter.
Oh, great.
I'm now a granddad, fully fledged, fully rounded, as it were, in terms of Thomas, the grandson. So that's a lot of fun. And at 49, 50, well, I was 49 when he was born, I'm 50 now. Well, 48 when he was born, 50 now. It's It's an interesting one, isn't it, John?
Good one.
So that's brilliant. And my daughter, Katie, is a product of the International Coaching Academy in lots of ways.
Academy, yeah.
She's worked very, very hard. She got her first at uni in psychology, and then she started.
Isn't that brilliant?
Yeah, she worked with you for a long, long time, which was brilliant
she's
for her.
taken out of you. She's copying your values. That's what
She's built an amazing business.
like.
And I sit,
She
the,
really
sit
is.
at the back and
So you must be proud.
very
then,
proud,
Mark.
yeah.
But so, just in finishing, then you've had your upsets. You've gone through the dark nights of the soul. What would you advise new entrepreneurs coming up? There you are, 21, and you decide I'm going to play the music inside. What would you advise anybody else?
I think it's about tenacity.
Ah, right.
I think knowing that realistically it's being able to accept that you could be wrong about something. So if you have found someone or something you want to work with that you really believe in,
Right.
are you right about that? Because wasting time on something that is not going to happen doesn't help that person or that project, and doesn't help you. And I say this when I'm in the Lipper masterclasses or with artists. If you've got a piece of music, if you've got a piece of film, if you've got a product, if you've got a personality, and you believe that you should be able to do something in this particular art form, then when you play that to the people around you, who matter the most, your friends and family, their reactions are going to tell you whether it's any good or not.
Their reaction.
Yeah,
Still
and their reaction will be, that's great, because they love you. But their reaction has to be, wow, that's amazing, that's better than that, it's better than that, it's got it.
Is that right?
Because it's organic.
Yeah.
They will always say they love it.
So interesting.
But you can sit there and listen to that and say, well, of course you're going to say you love it, because I'd be extremely upset if you didn't. However, how much do you love it? How good is it really? And then if it's not good enough, go back and make it better. And if it's still not good enough, do something else. Because don't waste 2 or 3 years at a time like I did on something that ultimately was not going to deliver for you.
Wow, man, this is great advice. Okay, I'm finishing. What's your vision for the future?
Well, we've started developing this wind turbine business. My vision for the future is that everybody who should get involved in some aspect of trying to save this planet. Because we've been doing this for 4 or 5 years.
Go on.
Developing through my brother-in-law, who was very innovative, created the first smart card for football stadium that talked to the turnstile, talked to the seat, talked to the club, talked to the customer. They're all interactive. And he'd done that and developed it really well. And his next project was an unusual and unique wind turbine. And we've been working on that for 5 years now.
Right.
Building this team. So on the board we've got the guys who developed Love Film and then now look after Amazon Music, Amazon Prime. Amazing experience for them, watching a business go like that, the way Amazon has. So they're our brand directors. Our business affairs director he's a lawyer, but not like any other lawyer. He's a real powerful powerful brain, very, very engaging.
Right.
We've got top class R&D people. We've got Steve Rotherham's team helping us to develop.
He's the Metro Mayor
of the City Region, Liverpool. So Mark Knowles, who's this head of the environment, is hands-on helping us to develop this amazing wind turbine. So if this works, this is Apple. This is in that bracket because nobody's able to crack it yet. And we are...
Come on, Martin, make it work.
Come
on.
Fully
You
intended.
will.
Yeah, it's getting there. Our most recent results are exceptional. They're market beating. So now we're into creating what we're calling Prototype 6.
I'm so excited for it.
It's an amazing project. And if that one comes off, I think that we'll have done something to help what is a critical problem. Created by your generation, exacerbated by mine, ignored by the one before. We can't ignore it anymore.
Well, everybody, wasn't that brilliant? Here's a proper entrepreneur. So, Mark, I can't thank you enough. You've really opened my eyes.
Thank you, John.
God bless you, Mom.
Cheers,
Thanks a
mate.
lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.